Hello, everybody.
Bonjour. Mes
Very
amis.
French.
Mes amis.
French.
Bonjour. Oh, it's bonjour, les amis.
What's that mean?
Hello, my friends.
Lesbians? Oh, I thought
No,
it
it's
sounded-
just because, like, before we started, it was like, I make love to the camera.
That's
Emma
actually a really good
flexes.
accent.
Flex for me, Emma. And I make love to the camera. And
Dude.
Emma flexes. And I make love to it.
So feminine, so cute, and then there's me. Anyway.
Well, I feel like, so Emma and I joke around all the time, but I feel like that's almost our personalities. Is I'm
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
definitely.
goofy Buttercup, and Emma is, I'm the Bubbles, and you're
Bubbles.
Buttercup.
Yes. Anyway,
Buttercup.
this is the Pink Flag Podcast. Thank you so much for joining.
Welcome.
I'm Emma Knudsen, one of your hosts.
And I'm Lindsay Holmes, your other host.
What's up? Hey.
What's up, baby?
So last week we introduced a new thing, which was the drink of the week that we're kind of going to start doing now.
So happy.
I know. And you know I love my cocktails. So
We love a good cocktail. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
no, we all thinking the same thing, you already know. So
we all love a good cocktail.
yeah, so we kind of briefly mentioned that our cocktails, our drink of the week is going to be based off of an experience we had with an ex, which I think is very fun and very unique and very toxic.
I am probably
in the
my
fun
most
way.
obnoxious self this week. I've had a lot of Red Bull today.
Oh God, yeah, dude. I love me some Red Bull when it doesn't kill me with heart palpitations, but
Oh yeah, no, I don't have those issues, so I
can
go
have, like,
full
one a day.
send with the Red Bull.
now don't be deceived this week. Our drinks look nice and innocent and delicious and sweet, but they have a lot of baggage deep down.
oh God,
So
what
this
does
drink,
this drink have in it?
so each week we each make a drink. So she made a drink last week, and this week I made a drink. She doesn't know what I made in it, but so we're calling this one Death by Ego.
Ooh.
And y'all know men have such an ego. They like to control things. They just, you know.
Can we say not just men? Because I know some girls that got ego.
I'm just saying. I only say that because our exes, and I mean, I haven't dated a girl. I haven't dated a girl yet. So, yeah, Death by Ego, and I kind of took a spin off of a screwdriver this time around
Ooh,
because
so it's a fancy screwdriver because you got screwed, right?
yes, because he screwed me over. He screwed everything up, and he screwed other bitches, man. Genius.
The 3 no-goes.
Dude, claps for me. That is fucking genius. Anyway.
I mean, I love it. I love every bit of it, and I'm so excited to drink it.
Oh,
What
so,
do we have
so
in this?
creative with my trauma-infused brain,
so
right?
for those that are following it on our journey, how do they make themselves a death by ego?
Well, I also want to tell you what's in it because I'm really excited about my concoction that I made because, you know, it's fall. Nice.
Almost Christmas time.
Yeah, nice cinnamon. So we have a cinnamon
Fucking
apple.
cold.
We have a cinnamon apple infused vodka, a little bit of Tito's because, you know, just a little more alcohol doesn't hurt.
Okay.
And then
that's the baggage part, right? The Tito's.
Yes, and of course orange juice because screwdriver is vodka and
Did
orange
you do?
juice.
You did orange juice? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then topped it with some cranberry. Because
Ooh.
cranberry is a little
Okay.
fall.
Should we have our cheers?
Yes, we got a
A
cheers.
little sippy sippy. Cheers it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is my therapy.
Drinking and talking to me.
Naming cocktails after my exes.
Oh,
No, I'm just joking. Do you like it?
that is
Oh, God.
tastier than it should be for the fact that it was named after your ex.
He
this
had a
is
way
your-
with
if
words.
This is your ex. He was delicious. Hold on.
What was that?
It was my attempt at an obnoxious sip, and I almost choked myself to death.
Wait, my turn.
I like
we
that
got
you
it through.
didn't do the audible sip because I almost murdered myself with it.
Wait, we got to do the ice. So satisfying. Now it's an ASMR podcast.
And welcome to our podcast.
Oh, God. I can't stand us.
I told you I'm my most obnoxious self today.
Yeah,
Get ready,
yeah.
folks.
But anyway, death by ego. So what does that necessarily mean, right? So how I interpret it is you let your ego run the relationship and how you run that relationship or how you react or act in that relationship. So just from my own experience, and I only chose this because I have had multiple exes have like run everything by their ego. And so this was very fitting for me. This was just something that
So
hit home.
I can say that I have definitely had my ego probably get pretty close to ruining some pretty great situations for me.
Yeah.
Just because I have the tendency to project a certain image. Like it's a self-defense mechanism.
Do you do the thing where you adopt other people's traits so that they like you? Because
So
I do
mimic-
that all the time.
So I think, and it's so funny that you mentioned that because accents
Oh no.
are something that I mirror really quickly.
Lindsay meets one British person and all of a sudden
Oh,
she's like,
God.
hello.
Hello, love. Good day, mate. So no, I think it comes from my sales background, and I'll say like a little bit of personal background on me. I was born and raised in Alabama. So when I was a child, I was almost bilingual. And what I mean is I had a Southern accent with my Southern family. So my family members that had a Southern accent, I would talk a certain way with them.
Okay.
So, and then half of my family, so my Papa Bear that I refer to all the time, he is from upstate New York. So he has
Wow.
a very strong Northern accent, and so did my grandfather. So
That's
as
so
I was being
interesting.
raised by them, with my dad and my grandpa, I would talk one way, and then with my birth mother and like her side of the family, I would have this Southern accent.
I was so curious why you didn't have more of a Southern accent because
So,
I'm not from the South.
I was put in speech classes as a very young child to help neutralize that, and
Do they just not like that?
I talk up my father all the time, but it was always so important to him that I be able to fit in anywhere. And he was really concerned with me having like acclimation issues or like a really weird fucked up accent as I got older, I'm sure.
Well,
So-
honestly, probably growing up, your personality's like, do I go Midwestern or do I go Southern? And then it becomes a personality disorder.
So I would say my personality probably fits more in with like that Southern belle.
I think so too. Yeah.
But like I have that bless your heart mentality.
Yeah,
I'm
you
typically
do.
really, really sweet until I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I am a mimicker. So if I'm talking to someone that has a Southern accent,
no.
I can pick up that bless your heart like you could not imagine. And it's funny because when we first started this podcast, I messaged Emma and I was like, so should I talk in a Southern accent? Do you think that would get us more followers? Because a lot of guys out there, they really love
That Southern Belle.
they really love that high end Southern belle, real
innocent
sweet,
sounding.
just so
accent, yes.
sweet as pie. Yeah, so some guys like really like that. I had an ex who was like, "Oh my god, I love it when you talk that way," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, I can't do it all the time."
And then you have me from the Midwest who doesn't take shit from nobody, and I sound just
I'm
like
a
it.
mimicker.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking to someone with a Southern accent, I pick that up. If I talk to someone with a Northern accent, I pick that up. It's mostly those two, I would say, that are the big ones for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to adopt a British accent. I did for a little while when I was
Dude,
in
I'm just-
college when I was
yeah.
drinking because it matched my alter ego. And then
Wow.
one
Did
day,
you have a name for your alter ego?
yeah, but I'm not going to talk about it because there might be people out there looking for me. No, I did go out with some friends of mine one time, and they're like, "Where does her accent come from?" Because I got
Comes from vodka.
y'all, I got messy, and I started one way at the start of the night, and I ended it another way, and
Another
everyone
country.
was like, "Where is she from?" Spoiler alert, it's Alabama, and I'm just a
Yeah.
weirdo.
Yeah.
So I definitely mimic.
I've had people tell me that they can hear a little bit of my Midwestern accent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. When you say
Really?
accent, yeah,
We also talk really fast.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
big
that
one.
was another thing.
So with Southerners, everything is very drawn out and you really enunciate your vowels.
Your vowels.
Your vowels.
Yeah.
You really enunciate those. But for like the northern accent, it's much faster. There's like that more nasally, like you kind of talk out your nose a little bit more than.
Maybe. Yeah. It's probably because
Yeah.
we're so cold and we're just like.
Y'all are frozen and congested all the time, and it just comes natural to you.
You're just constantly sick.
Well, I wanted to talk about a little bit of a interesting thing. So I don't know if y'all. I'm stuck in it now.
Are you going to be stuck in it this episode now?
I'm stuck in it now. I don't know if you guys
We're here for
watch
it.
The Love is Blind. I know you don't watch it. I'm going to make
don't.
you. I'm going to tie you to a chair and make you watch Love is Blind.
Dude, I actually tried to watch it at one point, but I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
It's trash TV, and it's one of my guilty pleasures.
See, I used to watch The Bachelor a lot. The Bachelor was something that was my trash TV that I was so into.
But it actually led for an interesting conversation for you and I this week, because I was talking about, so there's a couple who is Cole and Zenab. I don't know how you say her name. Zanab. But there is a whole scene that people have been talking about, and they're absolutely trashing this guy because so they're like getting ready to go to dinner, and she's eating a bunch of oranges. And he's like, are you going to eat 2 oranges? Because she's like peeling oranges. He's like, are you going to eat 2 of those? And she's like, well, yeah, that's a serving size. Do you have a problem with it?
Were they clementines or were they like big
They were
oranges?
like the smaller oranges.
Clementines. Okay.
Yeah. But he was like, are you going to eat 2 of those? Because they were like an hour or 2 away from dinner.
Was she like, are you like fat ass mentality? Like,
So,
what he was
so
going
she
for?
was. So there were parts earlier on where he was talking about, like, there was another girl that he was kind of interested in who was a ballerina. And obviously very skinny, very svelte, very in shape. And the girl Zenab, she's not in bad shape at all. Like, she's gorgeous, but she's a little bit heavier
for those reality TV shows.
heavier in comparison to
Yeah.
the first girl he was
Right.
talking to, because
Okay.
she's still beautiful. I mean, her boobies,
Absolutely, yes.
she had some boobies on her. Also, there's another girl on that show that had some boobies, like boobies. I'm my most obnoxious self today. I apologize in advance. But anyway,
Lindsay's on one.
so they've got a couple of hours before dinner, and he's like, "Are you gonna eat 2 of those oranges?" And he's thinking like,
God forbid.
save your appetite. So, and at one point he was like, "You've got to say," and she was like, "Yeah, that's a serving size. Do you have a problem with it?" And he was like, "Well, no, but like, save your appetite. We have dinner."
They're oranges.
But still, like,
They're
why
like
would
60% water.
But why would you eat 2 of those right before you go to dinner?
So you're on his side?
I'm on his side.
Dude, no.
I think
and you
this
know me,
dude
like,
has-
it's very different. Like, I could eat whenever.
But and then at one point she was like, well, for obvious reasons, you know, like she's talking about being concerned, but it's like obvious reasons, because there were points that came up where he was a dumbass and he was talking about her weight and like basically her weight being a little heavier. So obviously it's something she had a complex about. And he was like, oh, are you trying to get yourself a wedding dress ready? And she was like, yeah, something like that. So she's like making...
I just wanted an orange, man.
Well, she was making insinuations about starving herself all day. And he's just like, his point of view, he's a dude. So he's like, hey, we have dinner reservations in 2 hours.
So
like, make sure
logical,
you're
right?
hungry.
That's
Yeah,
so
like
logical.
don't fill up on oranges before we go to dinner. And she's
And
like,
I'm sure he meant
taking it.
nothing by it.
So a lot of people that I'm hearing and seeing about on social media are exactly on your side. They're like, how dare he question her for eating oranges? If she wants to eat a million oranges, eat a million oranges. But like, I also understand where he's coming from. We're like, babe, we're about to go to dinner. Save your appetite.
And I only am on that side because I eat a lot.
So we wanted to kind of talk on a little bit on whether we think love is actually blind, and talking about conditional love, which I honestly, love is not blind. I don't think at all. And I think conditional love is unconditional love is something you have with your kids.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think unconditional love exists between partners. I think it's very conditional, and that's why you have people that fall out of love or people that cheat. If you loved your partner unconditionally 1,000%,
You wouldn't try to change them.
No,
You wouldn't.
no. So I don't think love is blind, because I think we pick our partners first based off of what they look like.
Yes.
I mean, are they physically attractive to us?
Dating apps.
Yeah.
Hinge, Tinder, Bumble,
Well, and
all the things.
I mean, honestly, like I think dating apps are incredibly
Instagram,
toxic.
Instagram, social
I think
media.
social media is incredibly toxic.
Dude, it's not
But
blind definitely nowadays.
I do think that love is never meant to be blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you are attracted to who you're attracted to, and you're not attracted to who you're not attracted to. And I've had friends that I've met and I'm like, oh my God, his personality is so attractive.
Mm-hmm. But the looks just hold you back
Physically.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah. And there's
sometimes
no
it's
shame
just
in
like,
that. You can have a preference. I'm like,
Yeah. But also I've had the other side where I see someone that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I dated a guy in college who he reminded me so much like personality and IQ level. I'm trying to be nice of Joey from Friends.
oh no.
He wasn't winning the spelling bee.
Yeah. You can look like a 20 out of 10 and still like we're talking to a
He
brick wall.
looked like a Greek god. This is a guy I talked to when I was in college. Like he did the bodybuilding competitions. I mean,
You know, there's something, and we talked about this so briefly, but I don't like a man that is a Greek god looking. Dude, I look like you got punched in the face a few times throughout your life.
you want some.
I like
you want
someone
some
hard.
scars.
Yeah, I like someone that's had a little experience in life and that has been, taught a lesson a couple times.
Well, and I like to think that as I've gotten older, like I've definitely understand that like looks change and looks fade, and who someone is the most important part. But you still have to be physically attracted to that person.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's
But yeah,
nothing wrong with not
That
being
guy,
attracted to
he
somebody
was.
like that.
I mean, he was gorgeous, but he was dead behind the eyes. he
like-
was. He was not smart.
Dumb as a doorknob.
He was just. I don't remember what his major was in college, but I remembered.
Not engineering.
No, I was an engineering major, but I tutored him in like baby bio or something. And it was just baffling me how hard it was for him to wrap his head around like the very, very, very basic stuff that I'm just like,
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
why is this so hard for you? There were some words that he read or pronounced wrong, and he said it with such confidence. And I was like, ooh, that's
Ladies,
very wrong.
those are the men you cannot allow to touch your body.
I mean,
They don't even know your own anatomy.
he was pretty and he was sweet, but I went on a couple of dates with him
does
and I
not
was
get
just
you very
like, I
far.
need to have stimulating conversation. Even at 22 years old, I wanted a good conversationalist.
Yeah. I mean, it gets primal at that point. 'Cause
I
you're
mean,
like,
I
who's going
ended
to be able
up-
to provide? Who's going to be smart?
I ended up dating for like a year and a half a guy that was significantly less attractive, but he was very funny.
I love those guys,
He
though.
got me with a sense of humor.
And
He
if-
wasn't
and
ugly by
they-
any means, but like,
And they become attractive because they're so funny and because they have a personality. But
Yeah.
also those people have to develop a personality because they're not that attractive. And those people that are attractive don't develop a personality because they run all on their attraction.
well, and I had it said to me recently that people judge for a reason. Like we've learned to judge for a reason. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being ashamed of who you're attracted to or what you're attracted to, whatever that may be, because everyone is built different, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone is attracted to something different. I mean, my body shape and size and personality, good God, is probably not a good fit for everyone.
You have a great personality.
Jesus Christ, the fact that you think that is the only reason that we're such good friends.
Well, you balance out because I feel so crazy in my personality, and you're like, no, like you're fine.
No, you're so mentally
And-
stable. I'm like, I'm an emotional basket case. I cry all the
But
time.
you know what you're looking for. You know what you want. You're in that stage of life where,
Baby, that's because I'm older than you.
yeah, but it doesn't mean you're not emotionally intelligent. And like,
No, I
yeah,
mean,
and, like,
I think I'm very
aware.
emotionally intelligent and aware,
Yeah.
but like also, I don't know. I feel like we balance each other out
yeah,
really well.
definitely, definitely.
You're definitely like, you bring the fun to my like logical side, but also you bring the grounding to my crackhead energy sometimes.
And vice versa, man. Like
Yeah.
my crackhead energy, you balance me out because I had that situation recently. And
gosh.
you're just like
And I was like, oh, honey, no.
you just like diffuse my fire. Because, I'm
Yeah.
a fire sign. So it's
Yeah.
like, And you're an earth sign, right?
I'm an earth sign. I grounded you.
You ground me.
Yeah.
And then, because I'll go aflame. I'll be like, ah! And you're
You
like,
just, you
chill
were
out.
like full fury mode. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
wait.
That's why.
But I know sometimes
so
like
good
I'll
together.
get stuck in my head with like logistical stuff,
That's
and I'll
earth sign
get
stuff,
so upset over something that I'm interpreting from someone. And there was a situation recently, and I'll be honest about it. It happened on our short with one of our guy friends who said something that just really was really triggering to me, and it was something that for like days afterward I was like continuing to think about it, and it was something that was continuing to upset me. And like the more I thought about it, the more I got in my head, the more upset I was. And finally I had a
Because you
conversation.
spiral it into different things,
Well,
right?
and I had a
Because-
conversation with my dad, and he was
and
like,
it's all about his intention, too.
well, Daddy was like, you know what is a great thing about being a human and the age that we live is we get to choose our partners, and we get to choose them regardless of what anyone else may say, think, or do. And we have a right to be who we want to be with. And if you think someone's got really
With
weird,
conditions.
shallow, or ridiculous standards, then that's your decision. That's not theirs. You don't get to decide who they're with. So having those,
Yeah, it's their life, yeah.
having those
Their conditions.
yeah,
for
having
love.
those other people to help like refocus me and be like, no, this is actually a normal thing. This is good. We pick people for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't think love is blind.
I don't either.
I think
And I used to think that, you hear when you're younger, like love at first sight and all that bull crap. Like, now that is lust to me. That
lust at first sight is a thing.
yes, lust at first sight is definitely a thing.
Intrigue at first sight is a thing.
And that's just that initial attraction, that burst of excitement, right? Because you're already like, and I think love at first sight is just that person's like control over that. Cause you're like picturing, those crazy girls that like picture their life with this dude.
they start writing
after
their last
talk-
names and all of
Yeah.
their books.
Those are the girls
That
that
was never
believe in
me.
love at first sight. If you meet a girl, guys, or I guess, girl, if you meet a guy that says it's love at first sight, dude, she's planning babies with you already. Yeah, she's decorating your house that y'all are gonna have already. Like she's gonna pick your vacation home. Like it's
Oh my
that's
god.
a red flag.
She's already named your children. She knows
Already
how many
named the
you're gonna
kids.
have.
Yeah, she already knows like she wants one boy, one girl, because if you have the boy, it protects the girl, and then I want all the stupid stuff.
I have always I take credit for the fact that I've always been the logical one. So I've always just seen myself as so far above and beyond those things
Yeah.
that I love my friends who are like that because I'm like, oh my god, you're so idealistic. It's adorable. Meanwhile, I'm the grumpy old like bitter person
Realistic.
over here
Life
who's like,
is not.
It doesn't exist. You're stupid.
Yeah, life don't work like that.
No, I think intrigue at first sight. I think attraction, lust at first sight is definitely a thing, but I think
So natural.
love is something that takes a long time to grow.
And that's what you need. If you don't have that lust at first sight, I feel like
Yeah.
there's no spark. There's no excitement.
Like
and all that stuff, and
you could
there's no
see,
attraction.
you could see someone in the bar. You could be like, oh my god, he's attractive.
I
wanna
know
get to
I
him
do
better.
that, and I've started to like pay attention to the guys that I'm like attracted to nowadays, or the guys that I like start to notice, because it takes a lot for me to notice you. Because nowadays I see, because of the relationships I've been in, I just see through your ego. I see through your false confidence. I see through your, I don't know, when you try to talk to me at the bar, I see through all that stuff. I can read you like a book. I know if you are a fuck boy, or if you are someone that is confident in himself that will challenge me and not, you know what I mean? And let me challenge him without, and I love that. Like, I love to challenge a guy. So,
I would say I historically don't go with the guys that I pick up at a bar because I feel like it's so hard to figure out who they really are under the bar shell. Because I feel like when you're in a
Yeah.
bar, like that's not my real personality. Typically, if I'm like drinking and having fun with my friends, like that may not be who I am when it's not who I am when I'm sober. I can just tell you.
Yeah. Do you find yourself, like, when you see a guy that's really attractive, like losing all control over like, because I can talk, any guy at the bar that comes up to me that I see is just like looking to entertain me for the night or just looking to buy me a drink or just looking whatever, I can easily talk to those guys. Then you see that one guy like every once in a while and you don't get this very, that literally stops you in your tracks and you're like speechless. Do you ever have that? And then you literally shut down, you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to talk to this guy, because that's actually somebody that I feel like your energies are like, he can challenge me.
I'm not like that.
I am, and I don't know if it's a toxic thing or not.
So I wouldn't say it's a toxic thing. I think it's a personality trait.
Okay.
But
I like someone that can match my intimidation.
So I think part of it for me comes from like my sales background and the fact that I can have a conversation. It mimics, like mimicry, right? We talked about it. I can have a conversation with just about anyone. And I think it's from the sales background, but I can almost always find something within the first like minute of conversation that I have in common with someone.
Yeah.
And then I kind of build upon that. So I wouldn't say I really I mean, not since I was like a dumbass teenager and I had a crush on some boy that
that doesn't count. I'm talking like
breaking
nowadays.
my heart. No, I had a crush on a really mean guy when I was in high school. I thought he was so cute. Mean guys. Well, he was in like my Spanish class or something, and he was one of those early peakers in high school. Like high school was,
like he peaked in high school.
Those were his glory days.
Yeah.
And I thought he was so cute. And so, to put this in nice terms, I made the geeks look really cool when I was in high school. Like I was nerdy. I didn't brush my hair. I didn't straighten my hair. I was a poofy, frizzy-headed little weirdo. I mean, I LARPed. Like, I was a nerd. So, needless to say, I did not get the attention from the boys I didn't really want attention from boys because I decided that I didn't really want to, like, date a bunch in high school after a really rough situation. So I didn't date a ton, but I don't know. I had a crush on this one stupid boy that I mean, he had abs in high school. Like, what do you want from me? I was 16. So I thought he was so cute. And I ran into him when I was in college, and I bloomed in college. I mean, that's when I learned.
Oh, all the guys that we raved about in high school, we get to the age we are now, and we're like.
So when I was in college, that was my come up time. That was really when I started to like become more of who I am today. And so I did my hair, I did makeup, I dressed well. Like I really was doing better. And I ran into him at a bar, and I will never forget this because he said, if I would have known you were going to be this hot in high school, I probably would have been nicer to you.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, if I would have known you were going to look like this in high school, I probably wouldn't have cared. So I was like, I probably wouldn't have cared so much. And he was like, because I mean, 22 at this point, he already has a beer gut. He's lost some of his hair.
That's how it works. That's how it goes.
He's not attractive at all. And now I'm like being hit up by like the Greek Adonis, you know, the hot guys. And I'm like, damn, if I would have known you were going to look like this, I wouldn't have cried myself to sleep when you told me I was ugly and embarrassed me in Spanish class because I had a crush on you, you fuck.
God. God.
So obviously love is not blind.
Dude, we've all had stories like that, I feel like. And I was an athlete like in high school.
I know you were an athlete. Like, you're 5'10". You're an athlete now. I'm jealous.
You know.
I'm over here planning to make D1 babies, and I'm going to have the...
Yeah, so don't come at me unless
the height genetics hopefully will come from my husband.
Yeah, my kids are gonna be freakishly tall.
I
feel really bad if it's a girl.
I'll have the short babies. I'll have the short little girls. You have the big tall boys.
You're not even that. Yeah, I need to have boys. Like, if I have a girl, I feel so sorry if you have a girlfriend. Like, I'll put you in modeling or something so you don't feel so bad about being tall. But at least I'm proportioned out pretty well, so she won't be like freakishly crazy.
So it's always that whole thing of like you want what you didn't have, because my girl cousins were tall.
Yeah.
Like they were blonde hair, blue eyed, tall, skinny, beautiful. And I'm the 5'4" little shorty that was chubby and had bad skin and frizzy hair.
We've all had a stage
I
like
was like,
that.
fuck you,
Imagine
bitches.
like going through that stage but being 5'10".
I wanted to be 5'10".
No, because like you
No,
just
you don't
appear
understand.
bigger because you're taller.
Exactly. That's what I wanted. And
I
now I am a 5'10" woman and the body of a 5'4" woman, and men do not fear me the way that they should.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I intimidate a lot of men just because of my height.
You
like,
intimidate a lot of
honestly.
people, not just men.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm actually a teddy bear deep down. I promise.
So what's that whole like looks like a marshmallow is a marshmallow?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being intimidating though.
Looks like they would kill you but is a marshmallow. That's
Yeah.
Emma.
I demand respect. Anyway,
I look like a marshmallow. I am a marshmallow. She is a marshmallow, but she looks mean. So moving on along, we are going to talk about our dating 101.
yeah, our dating tip for the week.
And this week, we want to talk about how to keep it spicy.
Yeah, if you've been in a relationship for a while, these are going to be some tips on how to keep the flame going.
Yeah.
Because, as you all know, if y'all have been in long-term relationships, things can kind of be routine.
Sometimes you hit a lull.
And
Sometimes
not that it gets
boring.
old or anything, but a routine can start to set, and this is kind of a way each of us will give our own perspectives on what we like for keeping it spicy. But Lindsay, you want to start? Like what you do?
So we all know about my love of like spicy
Lingerie, little sets,
under things.
little teasy tease.
So I will say this is kind of embarrassing, and I'll go ahead and share it. So I was in a very long distance relationship, and I decided to spice things up with my partner in a way that I thought would be really fun. So I had sent him a very artistic picture of my boobs. Like
Wait, artistic in what ways? You paint them?
No, it was like the lighting, the angles. Like,
Very aesthetic.
I put a lot of thought into it.
Okay, yeah.
It was a lovely picture.
The ambiance was
Yeah.
just on key.
And
okay.
it was one of the first times I ever sent a picture of like my naked boobs.
Yeah.
Right? He was in the military and he opened my Snap in front of a very large group of people. So people saw it.
Was your face in it?
No.
Okay, good.
Thankfully.
That's rule number 1. Never have your face
But I
in
mean,
nudes.
obviously, like we were very public in a relationship, so oopsie doozy. So if I'm feeling good about myself, which I mean, we'll talk about our little like self-care tips later, but I've been in a bit of a bulking phase, trying to like build the booty, build the muscles. So as far as like body confidence goes right now, I'm not at my best. But when I am feeling really good about myself and I'm in a relationship, I don't mind sending that random little sexy snap.
Oh, yeah, because you know he doesn't care.
or
Like,
random
about
little sexy text, something to kind of like
little foreplay before the
get
bedroom,
it.
man.
Yeah,
You know?
get everything flowing, just kind of keep things fun and entertaining.
And light, yes.
I joke around all the time, but I'm like, hey, if you ever get bored with this personality, I've got a lot of other ones. So
that's awesome.
sometimes those come out in the form of like spicy, just, random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men love that. Love that stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes it may be fun to like do it in a slightly weird place. Like maybe.
I love when you're out to like dinner or something and you just like touch his leg or something and like just my favorite is like teasing in public because he can't do anything about it and like that drives him nuts, and so like that kind of builds that like foreplay before actually getting into anything sexual. That just keeps the flame going and keeps his imagination running because men are very imagination driven when it comes to sex and stuff like that. I've had a guy friend tell me that recently, that if they get an image of like, let's say lingerie that you thought about buying, they're able to put that on your body and think about you in that lingerie.
I'm
and
a
just
fan
so
of
excited
sending
about
just
it.
a picture of the lingerie, not on my body, but like of it,
Right.
so that my partner can see what it is.
Yeah, then he will picture it on you immediately and he'll get really excited.
Or I may mention like I bought some fun things. But also I know we talked on this a little bit, and men, we've harped on this, that women are such mental creatures. Foreplay obviously starts before the bedroom.
Yep.
And Emma and I have talked about this a little bit. While we don't like eggplant pictures,
Eggplant pictures.
we might
Yeah.
like a nice video.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the video experience because the picture doesn't really do anything for me. Because, well, at this point, if you're dating that person, you've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
So, like, this is just kind of like, I like the video because it's almost, it's more intimate, in my opinion, than the picture. It's more thought out. It's more
We
well
want a
done.
video. We want sound.
It's sexier. Yes. Guys, this is just a quick side note tidbit. Be more vocal
Ooh.
in the bedroom, whatever. We love that shit. There's not going to be a girl that's not going to like that, in my opinion, if you...
So we
Are
can do a
vocal
quick little
and-
foray on dirty talk because this is one of my things that I'm not good at all. I get so uncomfortable and I'm like, where's my script? What's my line?
What's my line? Dude, and I am also... I'm not a talker. Like, I'm not like I can be vocal, but I'm not a talker in the bedroom because, again, you just begin to overthink what you're going to say.
Oh, I feel so uncomfortable.
And if it was
if a guy were to be
organic-
like, ooh, talk dirty to me, I'd be like, dirty clothes.
I'd be like,
Mud.
did you do your laundry today? Did you wash your dishes?
If you want dirty, I've got a stinky, nasty little dog you can wash.
I can make your bed after this because this is about to get so dirty.
If you want to talk about dirty, let's talk about those clothes on your floor, you slob. No, I'm not good at that, but I love the concept of like keeping it spicy and keeping it fresh with your partner. Like I feel like
Yeah.
so often we get into a routine. I know some people who have like designated sex nights, which I mean, if you've got kids,
How fun.
if you've got busy schedules, I don't hate it. Right?
I don't hate it either if you have kids and like
Like,
the
if
kids are
you've
gone
got-
this night
if
for
you've
practice.
got a busy schedule
Yeah.
I love a designated date night. When you're in a relationship, I love having like a night a week that you're like, okay, this is our date
I was
night.
listening to this Kevin Hart special, and
Love Kevin Hart.
I love Kevin Hart, and his wife was basically saying that he was slacking in the dick giving area.
goodness.
Like he was just working so much, he was so busy that he was just tired. He just couldn't give it out the way she wanted. So he was like, you know what? Designate a night, one night a month, where you just get
One night a
railed.
month?
Well, like it was like they would have sex more often than that, but it was like one night where he had to really focus and just make it the great sex she's always wanted and all this stuff.
So
and
we
I just thought
have-
that was really funny that they had one night a month. He said it was the 8th of every month.
I love it.
That they would just go
Everyone's gonna
ham,
know
whatever
Kevin
she
Hart's
wanted to
doing his
do.
wife on the 8th of the month.
Yeah, whatever she wanted to do, he would do it. So I thought that
and
was cute.
I think like the age that a lot of us are, like things can get kind of complicated because you might have roommates, you might have
Yeah.
like weird alternate living situations, and like I'm the first one where if there are roommates and stuff involved, that's just really awkward. But I think keeping it fresh, keeping it spicy, keeping it exciting,
Mm-hmm.
changing things up.
You want to know what I do to keep it spicy?
Yeah.
So I love spontaneous locations.
Like
I have a plethora.
I need
Of-
some examples here, Emma.
So
Like, are we
Like in
talking
the car?
bar? Oh,
like in the car, on the beach.
you go parking? I'm back in my southern roots. I'm sorry. I'll go in parking.
Going parking.
Do you not know the parking? Going parking?
I mean,
it's where
I know it, but, like,
where
I
you
just
park
didn't-
the car and you just
Just do it.
get
Yeah.
your freak on.
Yeah, no, I like in the car, the beach. I've done.
I love how red your face is getting right now.
Dude, so unacceptable though. Things like a pier, a movie theater. Okay, I'm gonna stop there.
So, no judgment, but a movie
Can't
theater.
judge me.
A movie theater? Were there children involved? What's this movie?
No, it was Interstellar back in the day.
Oh, well,
And
yeah,
it was a
that-
long movie, right? It was later on, like in its post to where everyone's already seen it. Like no one was in the theater. I promise you that. No one was in the theater.
This was an empty theater, folks.
And we went up in like the dark corners of it. So
okay.
like yeah, the light and whatever, but it wasn't like a ridiculous like loud.
So I'm at a point in my life where I'm so terrified of getting busted and getting arrested for something that.
Like that adrenaline of it, like it's just crazy fun to me.
Have you ever been caught doing something like that?
No.
Very lucky.
No.
Nice.
I'm very stealth. And where I choose, and it's always my idea. And
So you initiate does your partner have any idea that you're going to do it beforehand or?
no.
I guess I need to
No,
take
he's
some-
totally blindsided whenever I decide to do
I
it.
guess I need to
And
take
it's
some
always like
motivation.
it's especially the movie theater one. It was always like a okay. You know, he was just like, I mean, I'm down. Because they're always down, you know? They love a little spontaneity, and that's also why I like doing it, because I know the guy's gonna be like, "Wow, this is crazy."
I think the
This is fun, this
concept
is
of
crazy.
like going parking is really entertaining and funny.
Now that
and
can end up
fun.
hurting, because when you have a 5'10" woman like me, and of course the guys I date are always tall, so it's kind of hard to like maneuver that situation depending on the type of vehicle that he has. So
I think I'm way
It
more
hurts.
excited at the concept of a public place, but like I'm a big old chicken and I'm like, I don't really want to get arrested. That's a
Oh,
big
God, you
ticket.
get a couple-
You get on an offender, you get on a registry list, that shit's not going away ever.
really,
Yeah, if you get caught having sex in a public place, you get registered sex offender.
what?
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe I shouldn't.
I
do
hate that
anymore.
I've maybe ruined that for you, but yeah, ever
But
since
well,
I
who am I offending? It's not him.
if it's somewhere where a kid could have seen you, you're getting a registry.
So this was at like 3 or 4 a.m. in a apartment complex parking lot.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's probably not getting busted. I have a hilarious story of some friends of mine who were going parking and
Going parking.
they got a on the window.
See, I
They-
feel like if a
they
cop actually
like,
walked up,
They found like a random place to go parking and it was a much older couple, like adults, like adults.
yeah.
And I think the cop was planning to catch some high school teenagers.
There's some grown ass adults.
And when the dude rolled down the window, he's like, "What?" He was like, "Oh, you're an adult." He was like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "Did you know you're trespassing?" He was like, "Can we finish and we'll leave?"
Dude, honestly, I feel like if a cop were to ever find somebody like that, they're not just gonna slap them with a sex offender ticket. Like,
I think
feel
it.
like it's gonna
I think
be
it depends
like,
on their mood. Because I would think
I'm just telling you, if you do it at like 3 a.m., they're not gonna be not
I would
gonna
think
be in
most
like, oh,
male cops are going to be like, "All right, buddy, hurry it up," and then like get going. But
yeah. I mean, honestly,
you've
they,
got,
they
like-
probably know what's going on,
if you've
and
got
they wouldn't
tinted
even.
windows, maybe. I
Or if you
know.
don't, and the windows are fogged up, they know what's going on in there.
Yeah. Just don't do it in like a church or a school parking lot.
Yeah, be a little smarter than that.
So
Pick a park or something.
let's move on. And I mentioned this a little bit, but we're going to talk about our sexy self-care tips of the week, which is not waiting until New Year's to
Start your resolutions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is it that we read? It said it takes like 18 days to build a bad habit, but it takes 66 days on average to build
a good one.
habit.
Of course, it's harder to build a good one. But yeah, if you can start those habits earlier than New Year's, you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on New Year's resolutions to continue those and to do well in those. That people just like don't like the pressure and they just don't do it. Or they do it for like a week and then they're like, okay, well, I don't see any difference. I'm not doing it. And this is just if you're working out or dieting or whatever. But
Well, so we've talked about how we're starting some of our like quote unquote New Year's resolutions a little bit early. I know you've been like absolutely killing it in the gym.
I have always kept, and again, this is maybe just discipline and building a habit. I've already built this habit. Like I've been in the gym for 6 years now, consistently, at least 2 times a week for 6 years.
I would say that
And I had never. There was only times, maybe a handful of times, I've gone a week without going to the gym, and that was a holiday, vacation.
So I've
whatever.
been on a little bit of a bulking journey trying to like build muscles on my body.
Right, and it's getting to be winter. This is bulking season.
Yeah,
so.
but I have such a disconnect with my body of like, as I start like getting a little bit of a stomach, as my legs start getting a little bit better, it's
So you
so
need to-
uncomfortable for me to be like, damn, I do not look great right now. But like,
But you also have to disconnect how you look right now and just realize how you're going to look when you cut.
oh,
So
absolutely.
the reason for bulking is to build all that muscle underneath. No matter how your body holds that fat, it's to build that muscle underneath. So that when you
Yeah.
cut, you're lean, you're slender, your muscle is going to the places that you want it to go, right? Like you're going to notice you have more abs this time around because that muscle was built underneath there.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just trying to get
you
that
gotta
big old
feed
shelf
yourself.
booty.
You gotta feed yourself to build that muscle too.
I just want a big old butt.
Just, dude, I'm telling you, just pound protein
Oh, I have been.
and be in a little bit of a caloric
But
deficit.
I
and you
also,
will
as
build
everyone
lean
knows
muscle like that.
from a few episodes ago, I'm like coming off, I got COVID.
It's
and
hard when you're sick.
That
It
was
really
crappy.
is.
And then that turned into pneumonia, which was horrifically crappy. And I have asthma. So anytime I get respiratory stuff, it always feels like it just takes forever for my body to like.
Dude,
get-
saunas. Sit in a sauna. And
So
your
that's-
mucus and stuff. That helps.
That is probably where I got the bacterial pneumonia.
Well, let it be what fixes you too. Because
So I was actually recommended to stay away from saunas for a while, but I also have asthma. Like I'm an exception to the rule, but I'm finally getting back to a place where I feel like I can go up a flight of stairs and I'm not
Out of
having to
breath?
sit down. No, not just out of breath, but like I go up a flight of stairs and I have to physically sit down and rest because I'm like
so weak.
about to have an asthma attack. It's
Or like
awful.
pass out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I like went up 3 flights of stairs this last weekend, and I had to like, I almost had an asthma attack. Poor Stella was like, "Mom, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Probably not. I'm pretty sure this is dying." So I'm
That's what
finally
death is.
getting back to a place where I feel good, and I'm like feeling. My cardio is just feeling better. Like
That's
I can
good,
go up
yeah.
a flight of stairs. So I'm really excited to get back into things. And I've been
Yeah.
doing workouts while I've been sick. It's probably like 1 to 2 times a week, but it's super light stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it's basically just to like try to get my body moving.
Yeah.
But I've been so consistent in the gym for so long that when I have those weeks where like I only go once or twice, I'm like, what is this weird feeling in my body? And it's like, oh, it's not sore.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, your
gotten
body gets
so
used
used
it.
to just being sore that when I'm not, my body's like, hey, something's wrong. What's going on?
But
here?
it doesn't mean you're not getting any gains
No.
because you're not sore.
No, my
Yeah.
butt is big right now.
Good. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
still on creatine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Creatine
I
scares
had to,
me
I
just
had
because
to
I don't drink enough water.
I had to cycle off of it when I went on the antibiotics and the steroids because
Yeah.
the steroids, I was like, all of this stuff like taxing on the kidneys. So I
Yeah.
did cycle off of it for all of that. But like, I'm done with my antibiotics. I'm done with my steroids. So I'm like getting back on the creatine because I'm
Cool.
trying to get those booty gains.
For sure. But yeah, so building a good habit, you can start now. I know it's like less than 66 days from New Year's, if I'm not mistaken.
It's definitely, but
But there's,
no time like the present.
yeah, to start that habit.
Get
so
a
by
head
that time,
start.
and I mean, like, you are an inspiration to other people when you like set a habit and you achieve your goals.
Well, and the
like,
longer
it's,
that
it's,
you-
it's really rewarding.
The
It
longer
really
that you
is.
sit in those bad habits, the harder they're going to be to break.
Exactly.
The quicker that you, like,
And once you get ahead of the game, you're not comparing yourself to other people.
No.
Because once you start with when everybody else starts, you're constantly comparing yourself with like how other people are working out. Why am I not getting the same results? Like maybe a month or two down. Like why am I not the same results as this girl who started at the same exact time? So this kind of
some
gives
people have genetics that help them more than others.
Absolutely. I have a hard time losing weight. Like I hang on to weight so hard, and I know we have some girlfriends that actually have a hard time putting on weight.
Yeah.
So
And I have
And
an
you
easy
can't
time
compare
losing
yourself.
weight, but I struggle so hard to like put actual muscle on my body.
yeah.
It's hard. Mm-hmm. I like.
And
string
honestly,
being real easy.
my only answer to that is just to push harder weight. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just heavier weight as much as
heavy
you can
stuff.
do. Yeah.
But that's not to say that like New Year's resolutions are all gym or fitness related.
right. Yeah.
Journaling is something that I'm getting back into, and I think it's such a good self-care thing. It's such a good self-care tip. You can journal. You journal about your day. You plan your day. You talk about the end of your day. You talk about things that are going on. I love journaling.
Journaling is therapy.
Yeah, it's such a good thing, and I mean, I've talked about the last episode, I'm in therapy, and it gives me like, it allows me when I have those sessions, if I can go through my journal and I can kind of read things like, oh, there are some things that I feel like we should talk about.
Yeah, and you get to watch yourself grow from that
Yeah.
too, and you can see how far you've come in like your mental journey.
So I love
Your emotional
journaling,
journey.
but also that journal, I can set goals
Mm-hmm.
within that. I'm a big fan. So we set SMART goals, right?
Yeah, right.
SMART are SMART.
Measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound.
Yeah. So as we set those SMART goals, and you journal, you can hold yourself accountable. But I love having that physically written down so I can check it off. So like, boom, I journal for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, I did my affirmations. Boom, I did my workout. Boom, I ate the way I was supposed to. Followed my
That's
diet.
what I do. That's why
walked my
I get a
dog.
calendar every single year, putting everything that needs to be done like by the week
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because if I don't write it down, I'm not remembering.
But it also holds me accountable. So I have things that, like, if I'm trying to prioritize certain things, if I'm trying to prioritize spending time with a partner, if I'm trying to prioritize spending time with my friends, with my family, with walking my dog, with getting in shape, like all of these things, having that journal and having that calendar helps hold me accountable.
Absolutely.
There are things like not drinking if you feel like you need to take a break from drinking, not consuming other adult substances.
Yeah, anything mind altering. Yeah.
Anything, if you're just like, I'm going cold turkey, like anything that you feel like you need to do as a reset, I think now would be a great time to get a head start on that before
Or
New
just
Year's.
plan out exactly how you want to go about it.
Come up with
Like,
a plan.
yeah.
SMART goals.
Smart
Track
goals.
those.
You can start a goal to start on New Year's if you wanted to, and just 6
Well,
months you'll
I
be
would-
unrecognizable.
I would think you could do something about like starting smaller, right? So instead of going to the gym
and that can help build those.
Yeah, if your ultimate
solid
goal is
habits.
going to the gym 5 times a week or 4 times a week, say, okay, so from now until New Year's Eve, I'm going to go to the gym 2 times a week.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem so scary, and it
Yeah.
doesn't seem so like
I'm going to have
burdensome.
I'm going to have 2 treat days a week.
because you have to have a good relationship
Yeah.
with fitness, and you have to have a good relationship with your body. Because if you starve yourself, if you deprive yourself of any sweets, if you don't give yourself, like you're gonna just
I
you're gonna
think-
overindulge.
I think the
Like,
treats are very important.
yeah, you can. I honestly, like, I had followed one
Treat
time, like,
yourself.
yeah, one cheat day a week where I would eat whatever I wanted that entire day. It wasn't even a cheat meal; it was a cheat day.
Treat day.
Yeah,
Treat day.
treat yourself day. And
Treat yourself.
there was at one point that I was having a cheat meal, and I had one meal a day that I just didn't really think too much into it. And as you start to do these things, when you start to set these healthy habits, you don't even want that bad stuff anymore. Like I used to love Oreos so much. Like before my whole fitness journey, Oreos were the shit. I don't even want to even taste an Oreo.
So you
at
mean
this point.
as you get further along?
Yeah,
that
as I
journey,
get
your
further
tastes
along, it's like,
change.
God, that's so processed. It's so bad
Yeah.
for you. And you start to learn more about your body, and you learn more about the foods that you're putting into it and how they react like while you're working out. Because depending on what you eat can also depend on the energy level you have
Yeah.
and the focus that you have to put into that growth. Because
Absolutely.
honestly, what you eat, if you eat a bunch of processed food, your mental is just not going to be
Oh,
great
absolutely.
either.
Everything,
Yeah.
everything factors in for how you treat yourself and how you treat your body.
'Cause it can affect your
And
hormones. It gets so deep.
Understanding that you're worth feeding yourself good food.
Yes.
You're worth taking that time to go to the gym. Your value is
You're worth eating more than 1,200 calories a
Yeah.
day. Like,
Baby, you're worth that 20-minute mental health walk in the sunshine. Like, make that time for yourself. You
even if
deserve
you
it.
don't have the energy for the gym, if you just wanted to go on a walk, that's okay. Like,
yeah, treat yourself.
it's all
walk.
on your own pace. So
Outside.
be patient with yourself. And
With my dog. Borrow her. She needs
any
more walking.
growth, any action towards like
Positive self-improvement.
yes,
Whatever that
is progress. Yes.
Yeah, I think
be
a
kind
good
to
place
yourself.
to start, because a lot of people struggle with where to start. Picture who you'd like to be in a year. Work backward.
Yeah. And a lot of those people, like I learned how to develop a program, like a lift for myself each day and a split for myself each week by just following different influencers, like different fitness influencers, like
I love Whitney
Simmons. Dude, Whitney
Love
Simmons, Nikki Blackadder, the Gymshark girls, honestly, I followed early on. Now it's just kind of like whatever, but they helped me like learn the different workouts, learn what
They
targets
help you
what
learn
muscles.
some different movements. They
Yeah,
can get
like
you
they have
started.
and they have leg day for beginners. They have upper body for beginners, and they show you what exercises target what muscles.
I think
It's very
something
helpful.
also that would be really great. So I know back when I was doing, like I was prepping for a bikini competition, I
Mm-hmm.
worked with a trainer, and having someone to help you plan out, like I worked with them for a couple of weeks in the gym. So they ran me through the workouts. I learned like, you know, the movement standards, where you want to focus, what you want to cue for different things. And then just really had that like accountability buddy. I don't think there's anything wrong with like hiring a trainer if you feel like you need it. But there are so many free options for those that like don't have the finances to be able to do that. Like
Yeah.
Raven off of Love is Blind. I'm going to throw it back to her. She has like a whole session on Pilates workouts, and these are all things you can do from your home. So if you
I
can't
kind of
afford
wanted
it,
to start Pilates.
yeah, if you can't afford a gym membership, she shows you how to do all this stuff from your own house. So like it's amazing. But
Yeah.
I would like to cycle through to our last topic, which is our toxic topic of the
Toxic
week,
topic.
which I know is something you were really excited to talk about.
Yeah, so, and not so excited because I love experiencing it, but I'm excited because I'm actually starting to understand it. So, karmic relationships, if any of y'all have heard about what these are, but I found myself, and I think I had a recent relationship that I feel like was my karmic relationship because, and this is gets into the more like spiritual world kind of thing, but how you treat one relationship, because I was in a relationship.
So define karmic relationship for us.
It's hard to define necessarily. It's more of a like, it's the experience is different for everybody, I feel like.
So do you think that's like a karmic balancing thing? Like if you do
Mm-hmm.
something to one person, your next
Yes.
relation, or like you have a relationship later that bad thing is done back to you?
Exactly.
So if you cheat, you're going to get cheated on.
Yeah. So I had a relationship a few years ago that I kind of dogged him, not gonna lie, but we bonded really well and everything was great. I just wasn't emotionally available enough to be in that relationship. And so, but it was kind of like a thing where I kept him around while I was searching for other options because I just wasn't in the greatest headspace. Don't look at me like that.
We
I
don't
was
judge
young,
here.
and I'm still young, but I was just in a time in my life where I was just like, I was in college and I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. And it's those things where you get out of a relationship, out of a really bad relationship, and then you meet someone right away and you're like, I'm not supposed to click with somebody right away. I got healing to do and I have myself to focus on. So, but you and that person just bond so much, but you don't want to let go of that person because like,
That's your safety blanket?
yeah, exactly. It was like that. It was almost like you shelved that person, right? Like I always have this person to give me that attention that I wanted at the time. And that's so bogus. And then come around full circle, this time around in one of my last relationships, had the same thing done to me. So that was definitely a karmic relationship. And I realized that was a karmic relationship. And I actually realized that as I was going through like the worst of it. And I was like, God damn it, if I wouldn't have treated that dude the way I treated him, maybe it would have been different.
Would you say that you've learned a lot from this relationship? Like, do you feel like you took a lot away from that?
Yes, absolutely, I did. But yeah, karma is a tricky thing. What you put out into the universe, the energy that you put out is definitely going to come back to you, good or bad. And karmic relationships are painful, but they're meant to teach you something. They're meant to teach you a lesson that you didn't even realize was there or a problem. Like I was the toxic one in that relationship, you know, and it came around and literally the exact thing happened to me.
Well,
but
I
in a
think
different
something
form.
that's important to point out is I think almost everyone can say that they've gone through a relationship. What's the Taylor Swift song? It's me. Hi. I'm the drama. It's me.
I'm the problem. It's
Yeah,
me.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
So like I know following like a serious breakup that I had, I was in a place where, quite frankly, I don't think I wanted to be nice to men.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hurt. I had been cheated on.
You were jaded.
I was cheated on. I was planning like a marriage with this person. We were picking out houses. And
Did you
then-
know you didn't want to be with that person?
No, I very much so wanted to be with that
Okay.
person. So no, I was very, 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 very committed. And then, things ended in a very sudden way. And then later came about that he was cheating.
Infidelity. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was why the relationship ended. And I mean, it was incredibly hurtful. So I would say for a while after that, I was in a place where I just didn't want to be nice to anyone. So the next guy that I dated, after like dating the douchebag, I became
The douchebag, because, and that's the thing too, is that you try so hard to understand why they do those things to you that you end up becoming them.
well, and I wasn't my nicest self, and that person stayed in our like situationship for way longer than they should have, considering the fact that I was gaslighting them. I mean, I straight up told that guy he was being crazy when he called me out on things that I was absolutely doing wrong.
Yep.
And
that's how I was with that first relationship.
At the time, I was just so mad and bitter and jaded that I didn't feel bad about it. I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, he'll get over it like I did when that was happening to me,
Later I had to accept the fact and apologize for the fact that, like, hey, I did you really wrong and I'm so sorry. And you know what? And after being gaslit, like the ex that I was with, I went to his house at one point in time and he had pictures of me before that. And I got to his house that time and all the pictures were gone. And I was like, what the hell is going on? He was like, oh, I don't know. Someone must have like put him away or something. I don't know.
No.
He just played dumb.
Yeah.
And then later there was a situation where the girl that he was cheating on me with sent him a message saying, hey, call me when you're by yourself. And that was supposed to be his best friend. And I was like,
Dude, that's horrible.
we were riding in his car and the message popped up and I was like, wait a second, hold on, this is not right. And we had a big fight about it. And he was like, if you're not going to trust me, then this relationship isn't going to work. So he gaslit me.
The manipulation.
So the next situation that I was in, I was like not fully committed to that person. I was,
It's like a placeholder.
so I was talking to my therapist about it and she was like, do you think that maybe you owe it to this other person that you did that to? And I was like, you know what, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So I had to have a really hard conversation where I was like, hey, this may or may not, like, I'm sure by this point in time, that you were not in the wrong here, but just so you know, like, I'm sorry.
And that you're aware that
and I was
did him
honest.
wrong
I
and-
said, I honestly just wasn't in a place where I was ready to be nice and to be vulnerable and to do that with someone.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry. So yeah, I think karmic relationships are absolutely a thing. And I think
Yeah,
they can,
after I went through...
they can teach you a lot about yourself.
Yeah, after I went through that karmic relationship, I actually reached out to that guy too. And I was just like, just want to let you know, like, everything we went through was like real. It was real to me and everything and whatever. And like, I apologized for everything I put him through. Like, he was also kind of emotionally unavailable, but he caught feelings, and it was just like, I took that and used it to my advantage, and that's not right. So
Well, I think something also that's important to consider is if you don't think you're at a place emotionally to be able to date someone,
spare someone's time. Like, spare them
spare their
the
time, spare the feelings, because I think
Yeah.
we've all been in situations where we feel like we were getting jerked around. And those are always the worst ones. Like I mentioned the guy that broke up with me because he wanted to date a porn star.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being honest with me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
doing
so
that.
much for allowing me to not waste my
Yeah.
time and to move on, because I feel like I handled that situation with so much more class and integrity than I would have if I would have felt like he jerked me around.
Well, if you were like 3 or 4 or 5 months down the road.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like if we had
and,
been sleeping together and stuff, I would have
Yeah.
been like, you were the world's worst person.
like, you just used me to sleep with, now you're going to go sleep with a porn star.
Although
Yeah.
I would hope to think that after sleeping together, he wouldn't be as tempted. But like, you never know with people.
You can never assume that about some men,
Yeah.
some of them, even some women. I don't know. But we got
Karmic
a little deep on
relationships
that
go
one.
both ways. I love it.
We got a little
love it.
deep on that one, you guys. So I'm sure some of y'all can relate. I'm sure you've heard of karmic relationships before, but
So if,
I really
if
wanted
you
to
have
touch on
been
that
jaded
personally.
and you've been dumped and you've been hurt and you're mad and you're angry and you're bitter,
Use that to fuel you're building a good habit in 66 days and working out
talk
and
to a
bettering
therapist about
yourself.
it. Don't take that out on someone else.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't
Don't
put-
carry that into the next relationship.
Well, and the forked up thing about that, I'm trying not to swear so much. The
Yeah.
messed up thing about that is you will be putting that back into like the universe or
Yeah,
whatever.
you'll be putting
like
that good
the
karma.
guy that I hurt went on to hurt another girl who probably went on to hurt another guy. Like you're just perpetuating that cycle.
Exactly.
End it. Take some time. Focus on yourself, queens and kings.
Focus on you, babe.
And be the best person you can be. Start your New Year's resolutions early, and don't.
the more
have
you
that
work on
be-
yourself and don't focus on external like stimulus or external factors or external
Yes.
people, the more the universe is going to reward you and you're going to be like a magnet for everything.
Well, and I think so. I've got a good friend of mine, and maybe we can end it on this, but he has been going through like a personal healing journey for a while. And he was talking at one point about dating, and we were asking him like why he wasn't trying to date. And he was like, dude, the type of girl that would be attracted to me where I am right now in life is not the type of girl I want to be with.
right, because
he was like-
he's aware that he's not.
He was like, I am a walking red flag right now, and if she is attracted to me and she wants to be with me, she's
That's also a red
psycho.
flag. Yeah.
This is a bad situation.
Right.
So he was like, I'm going to take the next like 6 months. I'm going to build myself up. I'm going to be the best version of myself
for
that I
him.
can be. And that will attract the type of woman that I want to be with. He was like, I don't want a placeholder anymore. I don't want to just be with someone for the sake of not being alone. I want to
Exactly.
be with the right person.
Yes,
And we love that
absolutely.
energy.
That's the goal, right?
That's what
For
we're
life.
trying to carry into the next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Avoid cuffing season. Focus on yourself, queens and kings.
Yeah, it's okay to focus on yourself. It'll be lonely, but you know.
I mean, I can't
Yeah,
relate,
you know,
but
like, I mean, you got a doggy. She'll snuggle you. But yeah, no, it may seem lonely just because everyone's getting cuffed up and stuff. But just know that half of those people probably haven't worked on themselves either. All right,
thank
y'all.
you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
joining us this week, guys.
Yeah, let me give you our socials. So we are on Instagram and TikTok at the Pink Flag Pod. We are also on YouTube, Spotify, and Audible. Audible and Spotify and YouTube, obviously for free, if you have a Spotify membership, right?
All of the things are free.
Yeah, okay, all free. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are also on Podchaser if y'all have any of that. Subscribe, share, like, all the things. We appreciate everything. If anybody has any submissions they want us to talk about, go ahead and do that on our Instagram at the Pink Flag Pod.
A lot of the topics that we talk about are topics that are sent in to us from friends, family, readers, listeners, everyone that follows along with us on our journey. Thank you guys so much who have been here with
The
us.
support has really kept us going.
It's been
Like,
the support for me.
Yeah. It's the support for me.
It's
It
the
really is.
support for me. But thank you so much to you guys for listening to us.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Bye.